Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and today we're gonna see if it's possible to combo off with Final Parting in Modern. Alright, so here's our Final Parting combo deck, and this deck caught my eye because I've never seen anyone play Final Parting before, at least in 60 card Magic. So Final Parting, 5-mana sorcery, says search your library for 2 cards, put one in your hand, the other in your graveyard, then you shuffle your library. So how do you turn this into a combo piece? And the goal of this deck is pretty simple. We need to get to 7 mana, and then what we do is cast Final Parting. We find Goryo's Vengeance to be the card that goes into our hand, and then usually Emrakul is the card that goes into our graveyard. Emrakul, of course, is hard to reanimate. It has a ability where when it goes to the graveyard from anywhere, you gotta shuffle your entire graveyard into your library, but that's a triggered ability. So since Goryo's Vengeance is an instant, we can take in with the shuffle everything in trigger on the stack, reanimate it with Goryo's Vengeance, give it haste, annihilate our opponent, hopefully just win the game on the spot. We also got Grizzlebrand as our backup plan that we can reanimate that, draw a bunch of cards, find a bunch of actions, set up for the Emrakul, kill the next turn. So that's the main goal of the deck. And honestly, this combo's been around for quite a while, but no one's ever played it before. And the reason is it's 7 mana, and it's not that easy to get to 7 mana in a black deck in Modern, or I should say it wasn't that easy. Now it's much easier thanks to Cabal Coffers. So we can get up to 7 mana with as little as like 5 lands on the battlefield with Cabal Coffers and Urborg, just like a commander deck, which speeds up the combo, makes it fast enough that we can actually pull it off in a format like Modern. We also got Profane Tutor to find our other combo pieces, to find our Cabal Coffers, our Urborg, whatever we need, a bunch of removal spells, a bunch of discard spells, some card draws, some graveyard hate, the rest of our mana base, bunch of Castle Lockwains to draw cards. The fetches probably look weird in a mono black deck, but they're basically to turn on Fatal Push and kill bigger things. In the sideboard, bunch of graveyard hate, some Invoke Despairs for card draw and sacrifice value, some discard, some sweepers, an Emrakul the Promise, and Turek for white decks, and that is Final Parting combo for Modern. That's our Much Abrew deck for this week, so let's jump into a Modern League and see, can this plan work? Is Final Parting suddenly a Modern playable card? Can the combo actually beat people down in such a powerful format? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. You can pick up all the Magic the Gathering cards you need and support the show, and even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker by heading over to cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Much Brew About Nothing time. We are moderning this week with Final Parting combo, and this hand is interesting. This hand's interesting. We do not have any disruption for the early game, but we do have a full combo if we can get to it, and we have the Cabal Coffers to ramp into it. We might need something earlier in the game though. We got the Goryo's Vengeance, so we need 7 total mana for the combo. Normally we tutor up the Goryo's Vengeance, but in this case, we don't even need to. Well, okay. Opponent could be going infinite next turn. Opponent gets and hits us down to 19. Not really worried about the incidental damage as much as infinite removal. Okay. Removal does help. Well, Cabal Coffers. Do we have to kill it now? I mean, I guess we probably should. All right. Exile Final Parting. Yeah, let's just do it now. Get rid of the Snoop, gain a bit of life. Wouldn't mind drawing just more removal. The Ether Vial on top's good. That's pretty much a dead card at this point. More than happy with our opponent running that out. I assume everyone knows the Snoop combo, but Bogart Harbinger there would beat us. All right, Ether Vial, yes, that is fine. Ooh, and nothing? Okay. This is giving us lots of time. Another Final Parting. Well, keep playing Coffers. We need 2 more turns, right? So we play the land, tap. Well, we'll see. The Emrakul is going to win us the game. I guess it doesn't literally win us the game because it only hit for 15, but it's going to wrath away all of our opponent's perm. Oh, another Snoop. Okay. Ooh, are we going to be fast enough? Come on, removal. Removal, please. Urborg. Well, play the land. 1, 2, Cabal Coffers. How much mana do we have? 4, 6. So we need 1 more. Okay, Final Parting. I think we're just Final Parting for a Fatal Push here to kill the Snoop. We will put an Urborg in the graveyard because we don't want another one. And take a Fatal Push for our... Oh no. Okay, we might be dead now. That's unfortunate. There's no undoing of this. There's got to be a way to undo this. Oh, this is the first time I've cast Final Parting. Oh my god. Okay, well, now we can get comboed. So I thought the Final Parting would have us choose 2 cards and then select the one we wanted to put in our hand, but apparently you got to click them in a specific order, and if you don't, then you're just out of luck. So if our opponent has Bogart Harbinger, we're dead. That is unfortunate. Well, we learned about Final Parting. That's good news. Goblin Matron. Okay, so not dead yet. Okay, so this might still be fine. And we learned a lesson. I mean, if we win this and learn how to cast Final Party, then that's a double win. Opponent gets another Snoop, goes attacking. I mean, I guess we're still gonna have to draw one of something. Liliana. All right, so play the Swamp. Add mana. I wonder if it's better to get Grizzlebrand. We have 9 mana. Okay, I think what we do, okay, here's what we do. So first we gotta choose the one to put in our hand. So Final Parting, I think this is the plan. We cast Final Parting. We take Grizzlebrand to hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, on second thought, maybe we gotta take a removal spell. Opponent can Violin a Snoop, then keep the Vial. They could still potentially go infinite. Okay, so. We are gonna take a removal spell. We're gonna take Fatal Push to hand. Emrakul Graveyard. Goryo's Vengeance, the Emrakul. There we go. Okay, Hasty Emrakul. Fatal Push the Snoop. We need to leave our opponent without enough permanents to have a Snoop and a Vial, basically. That is the goal here. One or the other is okay. Both, though, potentially lets our opponent still combo. All right, get in with Emrakul. The only bad news about this is it does mean we still need to draw something. The opponent, Vials and Munitions, Expert, doesn't really matter. Extra Body to sack. I guess they're gonna try to keep the Vial, which is still kind of a problem. Opponent goes to 5. Wow, that turn where we didn't get the Fatal Push is still coming back to bite us. Keeping us from getting rid of every permanent. So they can leave the Vial on 2. Oh, okay, this is fine. They're gonna Vial in the Snoop now. Well, that's actually ideal. So they're still trying to set up the combo, but this means we get to Liliana the Snoop. Wow, there's a Harbinger on top too. Thankfully we can kill this Snoop or we'd be in trouble. Wow, I think we're just gonna get there. We still would just like to draw something big to finish this game. All right, 1, 2 coffers. Inquisition you. Matron. Liliana. Get rid of the Snoop. I mean, our opponent can still sort of function here. Just with this Vial. They got no lands, but they do have a lot of 3s. Although they can't really combo because they don't have the Snoop. Wow, we just need like one more finisher. Final Parting wins us the game. Grizzlebrand wins us the game. Well, take up Liliana. Discard an Urborg. Opponent, I assume pitches. Yeah, Obnixilis. Thought sees you. Opponent. Puts a Harbinger into play. Okay. To find probably a Matron? I guess you take Matron and just try to Vial in enough stuff to win. Like, if we draw nothing for several turns, that is possible. That is possible. Wow. Unfortunate that our opponent got to keep the Ether Vial through the Emrakul turn. All because of that fatal. All because of that first fatal. Well, he spent an entire turn casting Final Parting for literally no value. We put an Urborg in our hand and a land into the graveyard. Oh, opponent's going up the chain. Interesting. Going for Sling Gang. Well, we'll take the Mons. The bad news for our opponent is this means they're going to tick up to 4. And there's just not a lot of force in their deck. I guess this does just add a clock though. Opponent gets in, kills a Liliana. All right, deck. Action, please. Well, okay. That is when the game would suspend 2. Is that going to be fast enough? Opponent gets to Violin the Slinger. So we're taking at least 5? Wow, this is going to be close. If our opponent draws another 4, we could be in trouble. Oh, so we're taking 6, and then this can sack. Oh, I don't know if this is going to be fast enough. Opponent leaves it on 4. We know they got a Vial in hand. Hits us down to 9, or to 10. Well, take down the tutor. Liliana something. Play Liliana. Take it down. Unless our opponent drew a 4 this turn, I think we're okay. Okay, no 4. So we should be good. Now the Profane Tutor should be enough. Our opponent can hit us for 4, 5, 6, 7, but that's not lethal. Land. Because we can just Profane Tutor for Grizzlebrand, right? And that should hopefully do it. All right, Profane Tutor. Is there a more guaranteed way to win? Target player loses a life, you gain a life. So our opponent can double sack to stay alive. I mean, I think we go Hasty Grizzlebrand. So I think we take Final Parting. Take Final Parting. Draw another Final Parting. 1, 2. Make mana. Make mana. Final Parting. The only question is, if we do this, do we actually have a way to win? Not really, do we? So maybe this doesn't work. So we're gonna have to hard cast the Grizzlebrand at some point. So I guess this means we Damnation, put a Thoughtseize to the graveyard, pick up Liliana, discard the Urborg. Damnation. Yup, down to 3. Sure. Yeah. The problem is, see, if we get the Grizzlebrand, opponent does this, we hit our opponent to 1, but then we literally do not have a way to deal damage left in our deck. So for the, we wouldn't have a way to win. We wouldn't have a way to win. We'd get our opponent to 1, but literally not have a way to get that last point of damage in. The sketchy part about this is eventually our opponent's going to draw 4. All right, so we draw a Swamp. Play the Swamp. Mana, mana, 10, 11, 12. So we can't Grizzlebrand this turn. In that case, we shouldn't tap all of our mana. Final Parting. I think we just gotta YOLO it and hope we live. So hand, Grizzlebrand, graveyard, Thoughtseize. All right, pass the turn. Okay, no Vial, no Vial. This might still be working. Wow, this all goes back to that turn where he cast Final Parting incorrectly. This game would have been over so many turns ago. So we're fighting against our own punt. Wow. 5. Kiki. This probably means I have to hit Liliana though, right? Yeah, hits Liliana. I think this is okay because Grizzlebrand should carry. Vial, yeah. Well, okay, make some mana. Inquisition you. Take Battlecry Goblin. Play Grizzlebrand. Pass the turn. All right, the little hardcast Grizzlebrand plan. We should be good. Vial on 5 is a bad number for our opponent. It's a bad number. I think Kiki's probably the only 5. And once we get in the Grizzlebrand hit, then we can draw if we want to, which should find us removal. Oh my goodness. Whoo! Okay. We got there. That was not pretty. That was not pretty at all, but we got there. That's what we wanted. We learned how Final Parting works on Moto, where you have to click the cards in a specific order or you're going to not be able to undo it. And we still ended up winning, so we'll take it. Damnation's in. Emrakul the Promised End could be funny. I guess Brutality's removal, technically. I don't think Relic does anything. We want our combo pieces. Much Wretched Soul's fine. Maybe just trim a little discard. Invoke Despair. Doesn't seem that great. I mean, it's card draw, but Voidwalker also doesn't seem great. Turok, meh. Let's run it like that. That's fine. We made it look way harder than necessary, but in the end, we did get there. We are on the draw with 0 lands. Sandy is kind of funny just because we could just try to draw lands and discard Emrakul to hand size, but I don't think that's actually worth it. All right, this is fine. We'll put the Emrakul to the bottom for now. We'd rather tutor it up and put it in the graveyard with Final Parting. All right, so we get a removal spell. Leyline of the Void. Well, looks like we're hard casting stuff. Yeah, thank you, opponent. Blood Crypt, untapped. And, wow, okay, good start for our opponent. Hate card into Thoughtseize, so double sideboard card on turn 1. My guess is Fatal Push, but it really depends on what their hand's like. Could take the Maze Mind Stone just to try to keep us from drawing cards. We do need the Urborg at some point. I mean, I guess maybe that's what Final Parting is gonna be for. Now that our graveyard's offline. Opponent, all right, takes the card draw. All right. Well, Swamp Goo. Well, Leyline is a reason to bring in Evoke Despair. Opponent, Cavern, Goblin, Mog Fanatic. Yeah, not killing that. Opponent passes. We do need another land to really do anything. Well, okay. Thoughtseize, that's fine. Magus of the Moo and Bogart Harbinger. Harbinger's a scarier card, but Magus of the Moon is actually kind of good against us. We do have 1 black source. Yeah, I mean, all right, sure. I mean, I guess this is kind of okay because it's going to turn this Coffers into a mountain for now. Still doesn't help us get down Liliana. Opponent, mountain, Magus of the Moon. Yep. Opponent hits us. Sure. Another Fatal Push. Fatal Push is not super good at the moment because we can't trigger Revolt. March of Wretched Souls would be nice. I mean, I guess this does keep us from dying to Snoop. Oh no. Okay, there's Snoop. Sure. Mountain on top. I think that's Fatal Push worthy. So we know our opponent's drawing nothing next turn. Opponent gets and hits us. But they are kind of slowly just killing us. 3 at a time. Damnation. Okay. Well, there's a time when that'll be good if we draw another swamp. Opponent draws the mountain. All right, deck. We have 9 swamps in the deck. So the odds of drawing a second one are not super low. And then that gets rid of most of our problems. Swamp. Liliana, okay. I really don't want to Fatal Push this Mog Fanatic, but at some point we might have to if we never draw a swamp. So Magus of the Moon's actually kind of doing... Another one. Okay, well, so if we do this, opponent pings us to 10, hits us to 8, hits us to 4, kills us. If we don't do this, they hit us to 8. Oh, I guess it doesn't actually... All right. The Fatal Push on Mog Fanatic doesn't actually change anything. So we will take it. Down to 8. I mean, basically, we got 2 turns to draw a swamp. That is where we're at currently. Well, okay. That's not a swamp. A little bit slow to get a swamp. Well, it all comes down to this. We take a hit down to 2-ish. Either we draw a swamp in Damnation or we die without doing anything at all. Down to 3. Ether Vial. Swamp, please. 1 turn too slow with the Profane Tutor. Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, honestly, the fact that we only had 3 lands in our top 13 cards means we were not going to win anyway. Like, even if our opponent didn't make us to the moon, we still would only have 2 black mana, so we still wouldn't be doing anything because the Cabal Coffers would be off. Seeing what we've seen, I do think we might want Invoke Despairs. Go down a discard spell. Maybe go down a Liliana. Maybe go down a Final Parting now that we see that our opponent's on the ley line plan. Let's try it like that. Invoke Despair can get rid of the ley line, and it's fine, I guess, as part of a backup plan if we get a hard cast stuff. All right, we get to play first. Well, this will keep. Gonna need to draw more lands, because we got coffers with 1 swamp, which is awkward, but I mean, we got Thoughtseize, we got March of Wretched Souls. Once we draw land, I mean, Urborg would be the best. That's what we really want to draw. But we're not just going to get wrecked like last game, I don't think. Opponent keeps. No ley line. Well, swamp and Thoughtseize you. Double Vial, double Mog Fanatic, Sling Gang Lieutenant. Well, we'll take the Sling Gang. Ship the turn. Well, come on, lands. Opponent. Mountain, Ether Vial. Well, Inquisition you. Take a Ether Vial past the play the coffers past the turn. This is a downside of the coffers plan. Like, in the early game, it does nothing. So it's actually not even a land at this point. We are going to need to draw mana. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire. Mog Fanatic. Passes. All right, we draw a swamp, which is good. That's got us heading in the right direction. Yeah, we're going to pass for now. Don't think we want to just Collective Brutality the Mog Fanatic. Opponent vials in a Mog Fanatic. Plus, worst case, we can pitch Collective Brutality to March if nothing else goes on. Urborg's our best draw. Urborg is, oh my goodness, it'd be so good here. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 16. Land. Ooh, cracks it. Okay. And Magus of the Moon. Yeah, that's fine. So Magus of the Moon comes down. We draw. All right, Castle Lockwain. That's a land. That's a land. Collective Brutality. Kill the Magus. Castle Lockwain. Go. All right, one more land. One more. And we get to start doing things. This coffer's still not making mana. Shows the importance of Urborg. Opponent, combat. Gets and hits us. Sure. Down to 14. Snoop. Land on top. All right, untap. See what we draw. Uh-oh. Opponent's vialing in their last card on our upkeep. What is this? Oh, Magus of the Moon. Sure. So we draw a swamp. Play the land. I think we just pass. Like, we could get incredibly unlucky and have the next card on our opponent's deck be Kiki and we lose. But we're like a draw away from Final Parting if we... I mean, I guess they could also cast other goblins off the top of their deck. I think our best plan is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final Parting. Final Parting. Take a Damnation. Put a Thoughtseize in the graveyard. So we're gonna trust that they don't just randomly spin into Kiki and we lose. That would be brutal. Kiki or Bogart Harbinger. And then we just get to Wrath, and then we're good. Oh, okay. Another anti-Shovel on top. So that is that is as much as we could hope for. That is the dream. So we take a big attack. That's fine. Opponent's got a land in hand, a land on top of their deck. Now we get to Damnation. Get rid of all these problems. And we draw another one. All right, Damnation. Sweep the board. Opponent pings us to 6. Sure. And now I think we might be good. Opponent's drawing nothing this turn. We can invoke Despair if we want to, which we probably will. Opponent plays a tap land, passes. Liliana, well, yeah, let's just invoke Despair, draw 3, play another Coffers. Would have liked to find a Urborg more than a Coffers, but digging up. Coffers still just going even. Opponent passes. Final Parting. Wow, we're so close. 6 mana. Well, 1, 2, 3. Inquisition, take a peek. Opponent vials in a 3. Oh, wow, that's like one of their best 3s. Okay, that's actually scary now. Wow, yeah, that's actually super good because it puts the card on top so we can't actually Thoughtseize it. We're 1 land away from being able to win with Final Parting. Gets a Matron. Okay, well, Inquisition whiffs. We will suspend Profane Tutor. Pass the turn. All right, so we can March of Wretched Souls to kill something. I assume they're going to Matron into Ringleader or something similar. Oh, okay. Opponent vials in the Matron. What does Matron find? Battlecry Goblin. +1/+0 in haste. I think this is still okay. So opponent, Battlecry Goblins. They activate. We make mana, March of Wretched Souls. Pitch Damnation. We want to gain as much life as possible. Oh, no. We want to pitch, actually, Liliana. Liliana's a better pitch here. Liliana's not doing much of anything. So pitch Liliana. Keep the Damnation for next turn if we don't draw land. Kill the Battlecry. Gain 4 up to 10. But then we take 5 because they get haste. All right, if we draw land, we win. If we don't draw land, we Damnation and wait for the Profane Tutor to find us the land. All right, down to 5. 1 more turn for the Profane Tutor. What a grindy game. All right, there it is. Oh, Polluted Delta. Crack Polluted Delta. Get a Swamp. Make mana. Final Parting. Goryo's Vengeance to hand. Emrakul to graveyard. Goryo's Vengeance to Emrakul. Wow. Oh, well, that was a close one. It ended up working in the end, but wow, was that close. Oh, okay. Well, we learned how to cast Final Parting, and we beat the goblins. We'll take it. Sweet. Oh, wow. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing Final Parting combo up against some sort of Yarion pile, and we will see. This hand's fine. We don't have much mana at the moment. Please be a mana dork. Abundant Growth draws a card. So not much mana at the moment, but we got a bunch of redraws, and Liliana's not bad. And we do have the Final Parting, so we do have the potential surprise win. Well, might as well keep the graveyard clean. Not sure how relevant this will be against a Yarion pile, but you never know. Fatal Push, probably not super relevant either. Thoughtseizes. We could take some Thoughtseizes. So the fetch lands probably look pretty weird in this deck. They look weird to me at first too, but the idea is we got the Fatal Pushes. So we have 4 random fetch lands basically to power up the Fatal Pushes. All right, what do we find? Even more Fatal Pushes. Well, Maze Mindstone. Let the scrying begin. So we're gonna have to be aware of Endurance, maybe? That could get us counter spells, obviously. Feels like a redraw of some kind. Ice Fang, Coatl, Old Border Ice Fang. Can't kill that one. Not allowed to kill Old Border cards. They deserve respect about it. Another land. Prismatic Ending. All right, well, let's scry. I mean, we're gonna keep the Thoughtseize. That is going to be helpful at some point. Well, exile a card. We did kind of want that Maze Mindstone. I will be honest. It would have been good. Opponent gets and hits us. And passes. Well, Vern Catacombs. Crack Vern Catacombs. Grab a Swamp. And get down Liliana. and tick it up. So next goal, try to keep our opponent's hand empty. In a perfect world, we'd be able to time this Thoughtseize with our opponent having the Yarion in hand. Oh, okay. Gotta be aware, this Oath of Nissa probably means our opponent's Vivian combo. Gonna blink the Quaddle to draw cards. Annoying. Yeah. Well, so much for the emptying of the hand plan. Probably would have played this differently if I had thought our opponent was Vivian combo. The Relic shuts down their combo, but we're tapped out. Hopefully we survive this turn. If we survive this turn without getting comboed off, then we have defense. If our opponent combos right now, though, we're dead. Also worth mentioning that Teferi does shut down our combo. Teferi, we can't reanimate the Emrakul with the trigger on the stack, so gotta be aware of that too. Opponent plays a land. Cracks the land. Gets a Triome. All right, so I don't think our opponent's winning this turn, thankfully. Okay, Prismatic ending the Relic. Jeez, Unholy Heat. Opponent's got it all. All right, passes. We draw. Castle Lockwane. Thoughtseize you. Oh, God. All of those cards are very good against us. I guess it's got to be Teferi, because our easiest way to win is just going to be to final parting. The problem is this Omnath is super... All these cards are super strong. All these cards. It's just a money pile. I wonder how much this deck is. Probably, it might be over $2,000 now. Gets in, hits us. Yeah. Down to 15. Still a bunch of mana away from final parting. From it actually comboing. Opponent. Draws a Teferi. Unfortunate. Picks up the enchantment. Well, this is going bad in about 100 ways. Opponent just top deck the card we Thoughtseize, which is always the worst feeling. Opponent passes. We draw a land. Final parting. Goryo's Vengeance in hand. Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. So this doesn't just win us the game, unfortunately. Opponent. But we can't really go on the Emrakul plan because of the Teferi. Opponent taking up Teferi. Well, let's see if they tap down here. Grizzlebrand can still do some work and draw us a ton of cards. All right, there's the Omnath. Well, hopefully the coast is clear for this Grizzlebrand. Opponent passing. All right, well, I think it's go time. Maze Mind's Tome. So let's Fatal Push Quaddle. Goryo's Vengeance, Grizzlebrand. Wow, they drew into it. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's game now. Wow, those are some great top decks for our opponent. Yeah, well, yeah, not much we can really say about that other than this game is, I'm pretty sure, just officially over now. We Thoughtseize our opponent and took the Teferi 2 turns ago, and they top decked the Teferi into the Endurance, and that's just, oh, that's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking, game ending, life crushing, money pile. And opponent gonna get a bunch of free mana because of Omnath. I'm actually curious what this deck costs. It's gotta be $40 million, roughly. Opponent. Gonna get Yarion. Gonna play Yarion. Gonna blink everything. I think we had the win there, too. Oh, that's so brutal. So brutal. Swamp to the bottom. Opponent. Blinks it all. Gets it back. Draws a bunch of cards. Yeah, I mean, I think we can just concede here momentarily. So it depends on the specific build as to how much the deck costs. Definitely 1,800, possibly more. We draw 8 Thoughtseize. Doesn't really matter. Let's draw a card. Fatal Push, doesn't really matter. Cast a Thoughtseize just to see what's in our opponent's hand, and then we'll scoop it up. All right. From what I could tell looking at deck lists, the typical number of endurances is 1. So I think we might have just got a little tiny bit unlucky. Maybe just a smidge. What do we even do about this? I mean, Invoke Despair seems good. The Emrakul, I guess, is fine. I mean, probably trim some Inquisitions, and Fatal Pushes are pretty janky. The Relic's good. What about the Voidwalkers? I mean, Voidwalker does shut down our opponent's combo. I still think because of Oath and Nissa, they gotta be comboing. Profane Tutor's pretty weak against Teferi. Maybe we go down one final parting. Maybe something like that. That was a brutal, brutal loss. Magic Gods. The one of fun of at the worst possible time post Thoughtseize. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can keep that. We only have one land. Well, this kind of still only has one land. But I guess we can redraw with Relic. The problem with this hand is going to be, even though we sideboarded out a bunch of Profane Tutors, we actually have all of our Profane Tutors in hand here, which is super sketchy because of Teferi. Definitely hoping we draw a normal land for next turn. That would be sweet. Opponent, Scalding Tarn, cracks it, gets a Breeding Pool, untap to 17, Oath of Nissa, goes digging. Well, might as well exile a card. If we don't draw a land, we are just going to have to spend our turn cracking a Relic. Opponent, what do they find? A land. All right, so we do draw a land. So Castle Locklane. I mean, we got to go for this, although I'm definitely incredibly concerned about getting blown out by Teferi. And this, it's just so bad. Opponent, Snow-Covered Plains, going to pass. Profane Tutor takes down. Final parting. That's a ways away from being good. Well, play Cabal Coffers. I mean, we just got to pass and hope that they are a 69 card deck that does not have Teferi in hand. Opponent, Eladrami's Call. Well, that only gets creatures. Gets a Risen Reef. Kind of okay with our opponent playing Risen Reef, as long as it's not Teferi. Land. Okay, Risen Reef, sure. We will take it. That means we actually get to Profane Tutor. Opponent does get a land, which is awkward. Get rid of Eladrami's Call. Get rid of Risen Reef. Untap. Profane Tutor. It's probably just got to be Urborg here, I think. We need our mana. Yeah, take the Urborg. We got absolutely no luck this game. Draw another Urborg. Exile the Risen Reef. Suspend a Profane Tutor. Wow, this is every little thing that could possibly go wrong is going wrong at the moment. We could have tutored out something else if we knew we were just going to draw another Urborg anyway. You only need one, ever. And now this is a dead card. Oh, what are the chances? What are the chances? Just got no luck. No luck at all. Opponent cracks a Misty Rainforest. This also means that we can't actually win next turn. Not that it'll work anyway because of endurances and so forth. But the final parting is definitely not lethal. Opponent, Abundant Growth, draws a card. Maybe they're not playing Vivian combo. Maybe they're just playing Oath of Nissa and Elementals for some reason. All right, there's the Teferi. Well, I mean, I think this makes cracking Relic makes sense. Opponent's going to pick up the Oath of Nissa. Opponent's all about drawing cards, that's for sure. Just keep drawing. Sacred Foundry tapped. This is a little greedy, but Relic, sack it. Thoughtseize is not the worst. We do not mind Thoughtseize. Opponent passes. Profane Tutor ticking down. We don't have a way to get rid of Teferi, though. Another Thoughtseize. Oh, I don't like letting this Profane Tutor go to waste, but... So technically we could like final parting. Yeah, I mean, we just got to let it go. We could final parting to get March, play the Urborg, pitch a Thoughtseize, kill the Teferi, Profane Tutor, but that sounds kind of bad. I think instead we're going to make mana, Thoughtseize our opponent, Solitude, Oath, Endurance, Ren. Well, take Oath. Thoughtseize our opponent. Take Endurance. Play second Urborg. Castle Lockway. Pass the turn. All right. Picking up Teferi. We could try to reanimate Grizzlebrand. Cycles a Triome. That's actually a pretty good draw for our opponent because it means they can start doing that with Ren. I mean, we got to go for it, right? There's no not going for it here, I don't think. If they top deck, I'm going to be so sad. All right, play a Swamp, make mana with Coffers, final parting, see if our opponent top decked another answer, Vengeance in hand, Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. Not again. We just Thoughtseized. Grizzlebrand. Oh, sweet mother. So opponent top decked an Eladrami's Call, which lets them pitch the Ren to play Endurance to fizzle our reanimation once again. I can't believe this keeps happening. The odds on this just seem so small. We know our opponent's draw for the turn was a Triumph, right? Well, they had the Triumph in hand. So they could have drawn, I guess they could have drawn either off the cycling or the Eladrami's Call, or either off the cycling or for their turn, but still, we thought C's last turn to set this up, and our opponent did not have the answer. The worst case was they could have a Solitude. They could have a Solitude to maybe exile the Grizzlebrand if they had a white card. Wowee zowie. Opponent gets the Yarion. Yep, plays yet another land. Ooh, I can't believe these blowouts just keep happening this game. No luck at all. I mean, I guess if there's any good news, it's that there's not that much good stuff to blink with Yarion. I really think Yarion should be banned for two reasons. One is companions. Obviously, I've been on this train since spoiler season for Ikoria, but companions are just a mistake. Maybe the biggest mistake Wizards' made in card design ever. The other reason is these money piles are making Modern ridiculously expensive. Modern's just such a great format, but it's, how do you tell people, oh yeah, go out and spend $2,000. Go out and spend $2,000 on a deck that probably, oh geez. This is literally getting absurd. Like literally absurd. All right, so make a mana, get a swamp, draw with Castle Lockwain, Voidwalker. Well, there are times when that would have been good. Play a Voidwalker. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Prismatic Ending, also just drawn. I mean, maybe it just feels like our opponent's top decking well because every card in their deck is a Bob. I guess there's also an argument for that. Opponent takes up to Fairy, not going to play Yarion yet. Well, Thoughtseize our opponent. Yarion in Solitude. Take the Solitude. Liliana, take it up, get rid of Yarion. We do gotta pitch our final parting, but we're still quite a bit of mana away from using it. Pass the turn. Opponent officially empty-handed, and we got around the Yarion. Opponent, gonna draw some more cards to Fairy. Opponent's gonna have, wow, 3 cards in hand again. The value train never ends. Another Abundant Growth, draws a card. Well, at least they're not all being blinked by Yarion. That's something. Opponent, Icewind Quaddle, draws a card. Temple Garden. Opponent passes. We draw. Liliana. Take down Liliana. Get rid of the Coatl. Oh no. They have something else? Opponent cracks a fetch. Veil of Summer. Okay, well, then we'll play another Liliana. Keep the new one. Take it up. That one doesn't target, so you do have to discard. It's another Veil of Summer. Pass the turn. Opponent again empty-handed. This time with the Teferi not being able to bounce anything for once. Opponent takes up Teferi. Land. Okay, that's a whiff. Where are they going with the Coatl? Hitting our face. Sure. Down to 9. We draw. Please not an Urborg. Polluted Delta. Play Polluted Delta. Draw with Castle Lockwain. Get rid of the Coatl. This Invoke Despair is actually kind of sweet. That is not a bad draw. I mean, we're grinding with them, sort of, at this point. Cycles a Triumph. Redraw. Takes up to Fairy. Risen Reef is a redraw. It's Ren in 6. So they're going to play Ren in 6. Opponent cracks and cracks. Drops to 11. Oh, no, it's another Teferi. Interesting. Okay. Opponent gonna bounce, gonna draw cards. Replays Abundant Growth. Golly gee. Where did the Ren come from? I thought they revealed a Ren. Oh, they don't have to reveal the Risen Reef. Okay. Opponent passing. A Swamp. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Invoke Despair you. Get rid of the Risen Reef. Get rid of the Teferi. Draw a card. Oh, actually, we get rid of a stupid... Okay. That's right. We get rid of a stupid Abundant Growth. Well, take up Liliana. Opponent discards a land past the turn. We're back to close to parity. What a long, grindy game. Meddling Mage. Sure. I think we want to keep the Fatal Push. There's some argument to thinning the deck, but I think turning on a Fatal Push is probably more important. Opponent names Final Parting. Okay. Passes. Just a swamp. Well, play the land. Take up Liliana. Get rid of Ephemerate. Draw with Castle Lockwain. Ooh, another land. Okay. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Whiff, whiff, whiff. Please. Please. Abundant Growth. Redraws. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks Liliana. Yup, we untap. We draw Damnation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we'll take up Liliana. Discard Castle Lockwain. Damnation away the Meddling Mage. Pass the turn. Opponent passing. I mean, this Castle Lockwain's been doing work. Now this is where Final Parting would be absurd if we can find it. Invoke Despair. That's not the worst. I'll take up Liliana. Opponent runs out of Solitude. Okay. Well, we'll pitch Castle Lockwain. Invoke Despair you. Get rid of the Solitude and an Abundant Growth. Play another Urborg. Draw with Castle Lockwain down to 5. Oh my god, another Castle Lockwain. So many lands in a row. About it. Adept. That's all the Castle Lockwains. We got rid of all of them. What does our opponent find? We are dying. Ren. Okay. I mean, that's pretty good at getting back Triomes to cycle. Cycles a Triome. So now our opponent's back to drawing 2 cards a turn. Abundant Growth. Draws a card. Opponent passes. We find Cabal Coffers. I mean, that gives us a ridiculous amount of mana. I'll play Coffers. Take up Liliana. Make Coffers mana. Draw with Castle Lockwain down to 4. Fatal Push. Okay, that's actually kind of actively bad at the moment. Opponent untaps. Gets back a Triome. Cycles the Triome. Omnath. Opponent's really got to win this game, or they're going to have trouble winning in time, I think, in game 3. Well, kill the Omnath. Oh my god, they're cheese. Okay. Their other draw was a Veil of Summer, so opponent refills their hand. Well, this would be a good turn to find Final Parting. Opponent passes. Another Coffers. Well, tick down on the Omnath. Opponent found an Ice Fang. That is the story of this match. All right, well, we get a single draw. Activate Cabal Coffers. Castle Lockwain. Could you for once give us a good card? An Emrakul, please. It's a land and we're dead. I am not 100% sure what to say about that one. Obviously a long, crazy, grindy, ridiculous game. I keep feeling like our opponent got pretty good runs, but as I said before, maybe it's just that their deck is just full of the most expensive, most powerful cards in the format, and they're gonna draw something each turn. But it does seem like the timing was pretty unfortunate for a lot of them, with our opponent being empty-handed and like drawing the Omnath and then drawing the Veil of Summer off the Omnath to protect the Omnath. Just those little things like that, or like us thought seizing them and then taking it to Fairy, and they draw it to Fairy to fizzle our stuff, or they draw the Endurance the turn after to fizzle our reanimation. So crazy game, I'll give it that. Much Brew About Nothing time. We are keeping a lot of removal. We're playing Final Parting combo, and if we can find a Cabal Coffers, this hand could be sweet. Urborg Gale. Hopefully it's a creature matchup. If we're up against control, this is going to be rough. Handweir Battlements, okay. Well, Marsh Flats, go. Handweir Battlements, so probably a Primeval Titan deck, I guess. I don't even know. Who plays Handweir Battlements? Urza Saga. Opponent passing. Oh, we draw the Emrakul. Okay. Not great. We really want that in the deck for Final Parting, but yeah. Opponent. All right. All in on the Construct plan, apparently. Opponent passes. We draw Coffers, which is nice. So in Final Parting, the thing is, they have these Urza Sagas that are about to go off. Yeah, I think we wait. I think we want to try to do it all at once. I was thinking we can Final Parting, Grizzlebrand Goryo's Vengeance set up for next turn, but I'm afraid if we do that, then our opponent just snags... Graveyard Hate with Urza Saga, and we get super blown out. Opponent is going to start losing lands. I'm not 100% sure what our opponent's doing here. We'll see what they tutor up. not making a construct in response? Interesting. Floats for a black. Well, I mean, oh, it is a Titan deck. Okay. Bounce land. Yep. Loads some mana. Gets the amulet. Explores. Plays the bounce land. Double amulet is annoying. I really wish this Emrakul wasn't in hand. If the Emrakul wasn't in hand... This is our opponent's last land drop, right? I think. Okay. If the Emrakul wasn't in hand, we'd be a land away from annihilating next turn. Opponent bounces. Oops, careful, baby. Boreal Grazer puts the land back into play. I mean, I guess we can just let our opponent do this and then Damnation? I think they're a mana short from... Oh my god. Wow. They're going to get to a prime time, aren't they? This is... Oh, actually, they're still green mana short. Okay. Oh, no, they have the Dryad. Okay. Yeah, they're going to get to a Primeval Titan here. Well, that was quite the turn. Primeval Titan. Let's see what they tutor up. And we're Battlement's Valakut. All right, so March of Wretched Sorrow. Make some manas. March. Pitch. Double Fatal Push. I think this works. Let's crack this to be safe. Get a Swamp. All right, new plan. We're going to try to kill our opponent with their own pack. So make mana. March. We're actually going to pitch Final Parting Fatal Push. Kill the Primeval Titan. And opponent scoops it up? Well, we will take it. Opponent perhaps got a smidge too greedy there. Unfortunately, we don't actually really have anything that's good against what our opponent's doing, do we? Well, maybe it's the Voidwalker Tank him out plan. Voidwalker is not good against this deck, but is there a better plan? The relics aren't good. Brutality's not great. Turok is probably too slow. Damnation was going to be okay there, but normally I don't think it's going to be very good. Probably turn a Fatal Push. Maze Mind's Tome? You know what? Let's go Damnation. Let's go 2 Damnations. Try it like that. So I guess our hope is there's some weird world where we like play a Voidwalker, Thoughtseize our opponent, take a Primeval Titan, get Coffers Urborg, proceed to win. This hand's probably got to be mauled. 1 land, 1 keep, I guess. Fatal Push to the bottom. So we're definitely going to need another land. Right now, this Cabal Coffers does not add any mana. Opponent, Amulet. All right, Liliana. Cabal Coffers is so weird in this deck. It's necessary to make the combo work, but it also occasionally just loses us the game because we can't actually use it for mana early. Opponent, bounce land. Untaps it. Well, we really need to draw land here. Opponent floats a mana, picks up the forest. Dryad of the Ilson Grove. Replays the forest. Well, I mean, yeah, we got to kill this Dryad. Get a land, Fatal Push the Dryad. Untap land, please. No. Okay. Well. There's a land drop that makes 0 mana. Opponent explores. Yeah, definitely feeling a little bit nervous about this one. Not great. Not great, I will say. Opponent, Teleria West. Untaps it. So we need 2 lands to get down Liliana. Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe we should have went to 5? I don't know. It's really tough with coffers because we really do need the coffers. But if we don't have the coffers, if we don't have the right lands to go with it, it's just a negative. Well, we'll take the Summoner's Pact. Would have been better if we could have got the Voidwalker down. Actually, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. We're not going to cast a Summoner's Pact in this deck. Opponent explores. Well, now we're on the hope they don't draw it plan for a few minutes. And hope that we draw Urborg specifically. I always wonder if it's worth Urza Saga in a deck like this, just to find Expedition Map to find Urborg. Okay, well, March of Wretched Souls. Not looking great. Opponent, Urza Saga. Cavern of Souls. I mean, I guess we can pitch our... Oh no, they just drew it. Oh god. Okay, that's unfortunate. Opponent, gonna tutor out some lands. So we're gonna have to pitch basically our hand. All right, March of Wretched Souls. On prime time, 1, 2, and 3, I guess. Actually, I don't even know. 1, 2, and how do we win this game? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, I guess like that. All right, got him, sorta. I mean, we answered the Primeval Titan, that's something. Opponent untaps. Void Walk. Wow, this is not going to work. Oh, 1 land on turn 5. I mean, I know it's technically 2, but opponent makes a construct, gets to find an amulet, I assume, and make another construct. Yeah, now we're just losing the constructs. We're losing in every possible way here. I mean, the issue is we just can't cast anything because of coffers. Although, honestly, if we had 1 additional swamp, it wouldn't change a ton here. Opponent smacks us for 8. And we draw Voidwalker, and yeah, there's not a way we can draw out of this now. All right. Well, for all the power coffers offers, it's not great without Urborg in the early game. Well, we'll run it back. We do get to be on the play. I think we really want the Profane Tutor. We haven't drawn many Profane Tutors this league. Well, we're not keeping the 1-lander. We learned our lesson last game. We don't have any ways to interact, but we could get lucky. Our mana's actually good this game. We got Coffers and Urborg. We have a Goryo's Vengeance, so if we just draw an Emrakul, Amulet. Yeah. Didn't really want to see that. March of Wretched Souls. Well, Coffers go. So we'd love to just draw the Emrakul to pitch to Liliana. That's our way we could steal this win. Radiant Fountain. Opponent passing. We draw Emrakul. Wow, I got another Beseju. Oh, that's actually okay. We'll float a mana. Well, we're glad that they hit the coffers rather than the Urborg. Hitting the Urborg would have really messed us up. All right, so we draw land, play Polluted Delta, play Liliana, start taking up, discard a swamp. So we only have 2 in our deck, but if we can draw Emrakul or Grizzlebrand, we can just naturally Goryo's Vengeance, and that probably wins. So 2 out of 51. 2 out of 51. Opponent, Valakut. Draw into the Ilson Grove. And a forest. Opponent passing. Emrakul. Liliana. So we play coffers. We take down Liliana. Get rid of the Dryad. Play Liliana. Take up Liliana. Yeah, we're going to draw the Emrakul. I know it. We're going to pitch the Goryo's Vengeance. I think we need to. But I'm really worried that we're going to draw the Emrakul now and regret it. So opponent needs to top deck something here if they're going to Primeval Titan. Opponent, Tireless Tracker. Okay. And Urza Saga makes a clue. All right. Opponent passing. We draw. Thoughtseize, not great. Well, we will take down, get rid of the tracker. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks the clue, draws a card. Still a scary spot. Land Primeval Titan is still the most scary. Taking up the Saga and passes. Well, what do we find? Thoughtseize. Well, we will Thoughtseize our opponent. Wow. Take the Primeval Titan, take up Liliana. Discard the Thoughtseize. Okay, opponent's empty-handed with only 5 lands. We need to find, like, land fatal parting. So opponent's gonna make a Urza Saga dork. Yep. Well, Coffers isn't counting this Polluted Delta, is it? Oh, it is. Okay, so March of Wretched Souls. Kill it. Up to 21 past the turn. So opponent can make another one, and they get to tutor out probably an Amulet. But our opponent is essentially empty-handed, which is huge. We gotta hope this Liliana holds. Opponent, Amulet. Hey, Bear, don't eat that. Stop chewing the magic cards. All right, another Valakut. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. We take a Castle Lockway, and that would be fine. Final parting. All right, that's good. You know what? I think we just set up for next turn. Coffers. I think we just set up to Grizzlebrand next turn. Final parting. So this gives our opponent 1 turn to top deck. We will put Grizzlebrand, hang on. Let's do this correctly. Goryo's Vengeance hand. Grizzlebrand graveyard. Top deck us if you can. If they top deck Primeval Titan, we lose here. Otherwise, yes! Okay, we got there. So not as explosive as we would have liked, but we managed to grind down through a ton of Primeval Titans, so we'll take it. Sweet. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are final parting comboing, and we're gonna keep this. We got the final parting. We don't have the mana to win with it yet, but we got stuff we can do in the early game. We can Thoughtseize, we can redraw with Relic. Well, land and thought. Seize you. Hammer time, A. What do we take from this hand? So we can take Giver, kill. The question is, can Stoneforge get something like Cauldra? Then we'd have to kill that. And then Pure Steel would live. I don't think we're taking the Hammer. Yeah, I think we gotta take the Giver. Take the Giver past the turn. It's a pretty good 6 for our opponent. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Castle Lockmane, Bloodstained Mire, and Relica Progenitus. And yeah, I mean, exiling doesn't do anything, but we might as well. We're just going to cycle the Relic here. Well, next top 7 mana. If we get to 7 mana, we get the combo kill. See what they lead with. Drawing like a Fatal Push would be spectacular. Like if we can kill Pure Steel and Stoneforge, then we're in a pretty good spot. Opponent, Stoneforge. What do they find? If it's something like Cauldra Complete, then we got to kill Stoneforge. Reality Chip. All right, we'll crack this. Get a Swamp. Frag the Relic. Emrakul. Okay, well, that changes things slightly. We draw a Swamp. Well, yeah, I guess we just pass. Emrakul in hand's not ideal. All right, Springleaf Drum, basically free. All right, just gonna cast the Reality Chip. So not doing anything yet. Well, I guess we pass. All right. Cabal Coffers is good. That does get us closer-ish eventually towards doing things. Well, yeah, let's pass. At this point, I think if our opponent goes to equip Reality Chip, we got to kill what they equip to, probably. Otherwise, we're going to go after the Pure Steel. There's the Pure Steel. Passing. Well, all right. March of Wretched Souls. Kill the Pure Steel. Opponent doesn't have the Stoneforge mana, which is nice. Urborg's our best draw. Urborg would be wonderful. Oh, okay. Well, that was a good draw. So 1, 2, tap, 4, 5, 6. Do we have to final parting a Fatal Push? That feels really bad. That feels really bad. But that might be what we gotta do. Otherwise, they get to hammer us and draw cards. Yeah, this feels bad, but I think we gotta do it. Polluted Delta. Get a Swamp. I don't think we can afford to wait. Plus, we can only get Grizzlebrand, so we're gonna final parting. That Blacksmith skill was pretty bad for us. That was real bad. Real bad. Fatal Push in hand. And Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. And then get rid of the Pure Steel. No protection this time, thankfully. Pass the turn. Opponent. Well, this is still a fragile spot. Well, that's an unfortunately good draw for our opponent. Well, now we're probably dead. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent attacks. Opponent. Well, now we got to top deck an answer. We're straight up dead. Opponent gets in, gets to flash in the hammer. All right. Well, top deck time. We take a ton down to 5. Oh, they just naturally drew a second hammer. Wow. Okay. Hi. Well, those were good cards. So funny when you play Modern. Like, it's so funny. Sometimes you just feel cursed. Every once in a while, we'll play a league with a deck, and just like every card that your opponent wants just comes off the top of their deck at the right time. And I mean, I guess that's Magic in general, but I think it's more apparent in Modern how impactful it is, because in Modern, everything's just so powerful and fast. So when your opponent draws the right card, you're basically just dead. When in Standard, it's like, oh, you drew your thing. Well, I got, usually I got a turn or two to find an answer. But in Modern, it's not like that. It's like, oh, you top deck the thing. Okay, like GG. Oh, because we even thought seize that game. We did thought seize, and our opponent still just found the right cards. Found the right cards. That was close. Well, we're seeing the downside of a 7-mana combo, I guess. Even with the help of Coffers and Urborg, 7 mana is still a lot. Like, at best, we're looking at, 5 lands on the battlefield? So in that case, like, if we had 1 more mana, we could have done our thing. Opponent has the Sigardazade. And passes. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. We do have a lot of removal, which is nice. Coffers is going to be helpful eventually. Still got to find a final parting. Opponent, Flooded Strand, cracks it. Plains, and Springleaf Drum, trying to make more manas. And Esper Sentinel. Opponent going to pass. Well, we are going to try to kill this. Fatal Push. Pay the 1. All right, well, that's a blowout. So opponent gets to draw a card, and they keep their Esper Sentinel. Not exactly what we were hoping for. Well, okay, play Liliana. Opponent gets to draw a card. Oh, this Esper Sentinel's going off. Take it down. All right, we successfully killed a 1-drop. We 4-for-1'd ourselves, but we did it. We did it. Got him. Boom. Esper Sentinel in the graveyard. Untaps. With a very full grip of cards, plays Urza Saga. Pretty good magic card. Oh yeah, Blacksmith Skill. Both games, that was huge. Huge, huge, huge for our opponent. Pure Steel Paladin. Opponent going to pass. Well, okay. Do we want to take up Liliana? That's the big question. We know we need to Liliana away the Pure Steel. So I guess maybe not. We need the Damnation. We kind of want all of our lands. The Castle Lockwing feels important. Well, play Polluted Delta. Liliana number 2. Keep the new one. Tick down. Get rid of the Pure Steel. Pass the turn. We're getting close to final partying time, if we can find it. Opponent, gonna do Urza's Saga things. Tap land. All right, let's thin our deck, I think. Crag Polluted Delta. Get a Schwamp. We draw the Urborg. How likely are we to die this turn? So they make this, they get a hammer on it. And they'll play Castle Lockwing. So if we play Coffers, 1, 2, tap, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I think we tick up now. Discard the Urborg. We have enough mana to final parting. And this gets a card out of our hand for Castle Lockwing. Oh, we really need to draw it. And is it even going to be enough? We annihilate, but our opponent's got a lot of permanents. So opponent, construct. I mean, we could just be dead here too. This is not going to be summoning sick. It's not going to be summoning sick. Our opponent's going to be able to get a hammer and equip it for free. Yeah, all those Esper Sentinel cards. Brutal, 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 brutal. Actually, in Blacksmith Skill too. Even the cards no one remembers from Modern Horizons 2 are so good. Opponent trying to figure out how to manage their Urza's Saga. Taps it. Well, so far, this build of Coffers is neat. I'm not sure it's better than just casting good stuff. I'm not 100% sure. Like the idea is cool. In Final Parting, having Final Parting see play is neat because that's a card that just never seen play before. So this means our opponent has the hammer in hand and we are likely dead. Plays a land. I mean, I assume that's what it means. Yeah. Stoneforge. So they had the hammer in hand. So this is going to be a 16-16 if our opponent has nothing else in hand. Well, I mean, there's a chance we survive in Damnation and at least get a bit of extra time. Wow. Wait, does this mean they have hammer? Wait. You got hammer in hand and reality chip in hand? Okay, not trying to kill us. Well, this is very interesting. This is not what I expected at all. Okay, well, Castle Lockwing. Draw a card. It's the final parting. I think we gotta wait though. I think we got a Damnation first. Cabal Coffers. Cabal Coffers make mana. Damnation. Because Emerald's not lethal there. All right, pass the turn. They can flash in Reality Chip. So if they have a hammer or something in hand, it's still decent. Opponent cracks. Gets a Plains. Reality Chip. Well, let's see what else our opponent has. Untaps. All right, does have a hammer in hand. Oh, has Nettlecyst in hand. Wait, do they have Nettlecyst and hammer? Oh, why are they not getting hammers? This is so strange. Okay, Nettlecyst. This game has went way differently than I expected. Definitely was expecting our opponent to Colossal Hammer us to death, but instead they are doing it in a much weirder way. Nettlecyst. This all makes sense if they also have the hammer in hand and they've just been doing that the whole time. Opponent hits us to 11. Draw Coffers. Well, okay. Play the Coffers. Make a bit of mana. Make a bit of mana. Final parting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So too many permanents for Emrakul. I guess that means it's Grizzlebrand time. Goryo's Vengeance in hand. Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. Goryo's Vengeance to Grizzlebrand. Go to combat. Hit ya. Gain a bit of life. Yeah, draw 7. Oh, not a great 7. Did we have a permanent leave the battlefield? No. But Grizzlebrand will leave the battlefield. Now what? Now what do we do? Do we draw again? Like, hitting a Thoughtseize would be so good. We're gonna be low on life, but it seems worth it. You know what? If we're gonna die drawing most of our deck. Okay, we found an Inquisition. Oh, we also have this March. We're at 4. Okay, so Inquisition. Hammer, Cauldron. Wow, they have had the hammer the whole time. Hammer, Cauldron complete. Okay, so take the hammer. And now we are going to pitch many Magic the Gathering cards to kill this reality chip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, pitch 5. Kill the reality chip. Go up to 14. Draw another 7. Go back to 7. And pass the turn. Grizzlebrand gets exiled. This should set us up for the win next turn, I think. So we're going to have to discard a ton of cards. We should be good now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so everything shuffles back in. Then we just final parting the Emrakul, and our opponent's low enough on life that this should do it, and they don't have mana for Cauldron complete, so I think we got there. We can even Thoughtseize first, just to be sure. Oh, okay, so Urborg, Coffers mana, Inquisition you, take the hammer, and then, okay, final parting. Take March in hand, Emrakul in the graveyard, Goryo's Vengeance, the Emrakul. There we go. Woo! Okay, wasn't easy, but we got there. Wow, that was so close. All right. Well, our removal came through and ended up being pretty good. Do we want to change anything else? Maybe one invokes? Invokes seem like they do some things. I don't know what we go down though. That is the real question. Oh, the March Grizzlebrand combo is kind of sweet. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that. Like, draw a bunch of cards with Grizzlebrand. I guess you got to be heavily black to make it work. But that undid an entire Grizzlebrand activation plus some, which is pretty powerful. Like, that let us draw another 7 cards for 1 mana. So maybe there's something with Grizzlebrand March that has not been explored yet all the way. Maybe the Maze Mind's Tome. Maze Mind's Tome just feels slow against this deck. Maybe we just go 1 invoke. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I think our main goal is to just kill all of our opponent's stuff and then combo. It is interesting that it seems like it always takes us two activations. You know what? This is fine. Could use an Urborg, but I like the double discard and I like the Fatal Push. Castle Aquane's not bad. Not Urborg good, but not bad. Well, Inquisition, yo. Stoneforge, Sanctifier, and Vec. Well, we'll take the Sanctifier. Opponent gets Stoneforge, and then we can Thoughtseize Fatal Push. And then our opponent's got essentially nothing. That should buy us some time at least. These games with this deck have not been as quick as I would have thought. You would think, oh, it's just a fast combo. You just reanimate an Emrakul and win. Every one of our games has been like this long grind fest. Opponent, Stoneforge. Probably goes Calder complete. Maybe they go Reality Chip. It seems like Reality Chip has been their first tutor target. Nettle Cyst. Okay, that also makes sense. Opponent passes. Well, we untap. Another Fatal Push is nice. Thoughtseize you. Take the Nettle Cyst. Fatal Push the Stoneforge just in case. Pass the turn. We're getting there. Little by little. We got 1 removal spell left over. Ah, the old fire at my Inkmoth Nexus. Found it, gets in. Infects us. All right, we need the Urborg. Come on, Urborg. Spring Leaf Drum. So our opponent's hand is just 3 lands. I don't even think, it's not even worth casting. Not even worth casting a Inquisition. We know that our opponent's hand is nothingness. The question is, do we Fatal Push an Inkmoth? Or do we wait to try to get more value? Opponent, land. Esper Sentinel. I mean, I guess we're not in a rush. Opponent, passing. And Urborg off the top. All right, so we have both of our Goryo's Vengeances, which would be sweet if we can get something in the graveyard. Really just want another land so we can maybe cast a Lockwayne. Windswept Heath. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 17 and passes. All right, Marsh Flats, that's something. That's something. Actually, I think we have to cast this Inquisition now, unfortunately. And pay the 1. We do need it out of our hand. You know what? Okay, Inquisition, pay the 1. Probably not doing anything, but we're not doing anything otherwise. All right, another Inkmoth and a Plains. All right. The problem with our opponent flooding out is if they draw Cauldron Complete, we're actually kind of wrecked. We just need to get cards out of our hand for the sake of, you know what, I'm tempted to just kill this. This is just gonna keep annoying us. I mean, I guess we can, well, they could draw Blacksmiths, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Are we gonna die to Ink Moss if we do this? They're gonna have 2 Ink Moss, 4 turn clock. Okay, let's wait. Yeah, the Ink Moths are a pretty fast clock. I guess we're getting to the point where we have enough mana we can pay for Esper Sentinel. Ink Moth number 2. Oh God. Okay, this is real bad. This means a Cauldron Complete's coming, and we don't have an answer for that. Oh, Reality Chip. Okay, less bad. Our opponent really loves their Reality Chips. I mean, it is a powerful card. It is a powerful card, but I don't know if it, I mean, if they just got Cauldron Complete there, we just lose. All right, we're just going to kill the Reality Chip while it's creature moded. We don't want our opponent having that much card advantage, so... All right, crack the land, kill the Reality Chip, pay the 1. And now we hope for a way to use these Goryo's Vengeances and not die to Ink Moss. I mean, we're probably going to have to start drawing with this Castle Lockwane. I think we die to Infect before we die to damage at the moment. Opponent gets in, hits us. Sure. Down to 15. Damnation would be interesting. Liliana. So our opponent's last card is a land. Well, 1, 2, 3. Play Liliana, pay the 1. This is not great value for Liliana, but it is sort of removal spell. Probably get the Sentinel, I assume. We've been paying the 1 pretty consistently. Oh, okay, goes with the Stoneforge. I mean, I guess they can just cast their equipment at this point. They're getting to the point where they're going to just be able to equip a hammer. Ink Moth. Sure. I guess we should have maybe tapped differently for bluff value. All right, so they're trying to... Oh, okay. Both at Liliana. I don't think our opponent realizes we can't tap coffers for mana at the moment. Liliana down. Oh, boy. Well, that's a very good land. Well, that is Urborg. Play Urborg. Make coffers mana. Draw with Castle Lockwane. Come on, deck. I mean, Fatal Push isn't the worst. These Goryo's Vengeances are making our hand super painful with this Castle Lockwane. Opponent land. Ink Moth. Ink Moth. If we can find the final parting, I think we got a chance. Emrakul is again not lethal, but we could get rid of... We get Grizzlebrand and do what we did last game, because we have a lot of mana this game. Down to 11. Up to 3, in fact. All right, opponent just runs out the hammer. Going for the equip plan, apparently. All right, we untap. Even more Fatal Pushes. All right, pass the turn. I mean, the Fatal Pushes are helpful. Another long, crazy, grindy game. So opponent makes a construct. We can kill the construct. Opponent makes a construct. Or maybe they go to equip. We are going to have to do this relatively quickly because our opponents just flooded out so much that they're just going to be able to keep equipping the hammer every turn. All right, makes another construct. Gets a free artifact. Urza Saga is so good. It's a Shadow Sphere. Well, hopefully they don't tap top deck Blacksmith skill. That would be a blowout. Okay, equips the Shadow Sphere. Ink Moth time. Yeah, Ink Moth, Ink Moth. Opponent goes to combat, attacks us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, all right. Cabal coffers mana. Fatal Push a construct. Pay the 1. Oh, these Goryo's Vengeances. These Goryo's Vengeances. Drawing with Castle Lockwane so risky here. We could spend the Fatal Push. The problem is then our opponent could get us by playing a land and equipping. I think they have a land in hand. All right, yeah. This is still bad though, because if they put it, do we have to not draw this turn? Well, no. Yeah, I think we have to not draw this turn. These Goryo's Vengeances. Active downside at the moment. Opponent passes. Liliana. Okay, play Liliana. Actually, oh, we gotta pay the 1, don't we? All right. Cabal coffers, Liliana. Pay the 1. Take down. We are running out of time here. Make our opponent sacrifice. Fatal Push. Draw with Castle Lockwain. Down to 7. Brutality, not great. Pass the turn. Oh, we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Opponent. I mean, I guess we could use Brutality to discard Agoria's Vengeance to stop taking so much damage. Wow, that's game over draw. Yeah. Opponent, free equip. Wow. One thing I'll say for this deck is we've played some ridiculous games. We've played some ridiculous games. Maybe there's an argument for not killing the golem there. I don't know. I mean, we got to kill the golem. We got to kill the golem eventually. I don't know. That's a weird situation. There might be an argument to waste our mana, not kill the golem, and try to play around Pure Steel, because that is a really good top deck for our opponent. But we also do, but then we wouldn't be able to draw with Castle Lockwain, and we're on a 2-turn clock with Ink Moss. So yeah, I think that's fine. I think the way we played it is fine, just because we're dying to these Ink Moss anyway. So we essentially gotta find the final parting to be able to do our thing and win the game next turn, or Ink Moss plus Shadow Sphere are just gonna infect us out of the game. So we're dying at essentially the same rate as we would have anyway. So I think that was fine. We're only 1-2 as far as our record, but I gotta say, all these games have been absurd and incredibly long. Well, interesting. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing Final Parting combo in Modern, and we got the Final Parting. We need a bunch of mana to make it work, but this hand got a little bit of something for everyone. Okay, like a Relic of Progenitus for Living End. Sweet! Oh my god. Alright, we draw Emrakul, which is annoying. Relic. Force a negation. Okay, cycle Street Wraith. Okay, resolves. Well, start the exiling. Alright, main deck graveyard hit gives us a shot here. The Inquisition's okay. Hopefully we keep hitting lands. We're gonna have to leave up a mana for this essentially forever, I think. Opponent, Flooded Strand, and passes. Coffers. Well, that doesn't do much yet. Well, Castle Lockwain. Inquisition you. Opponent cycles. Well, we'll exile a card. Want to do it now because if we hit a spell, we don't want to have to exile the spell. Double Violent Outburst and Boseiju. All right, take a Violent Outburst. Pass the turn. So our opponent can Boseiju away our Relic, but they don't really have anything else going on at the moment. So we're kind of okay. Gets a breeding pool. Opponent, because we can crack the Relic and clear the graveyard, so our opponent doesn't really have anything good to get back yet. This is actually kind of interesting. There might be some argument to letting this go. You know what, I think we gotta sack it. Hopefully we just draw land. Okay, we draw lands, that's good. We're getting there. Opponent Scalding Tarn. Passes. Well, play a swamp. Maze Mind's Tome. Go. We're getting close. If we can find a Urborg, we're good to get a Grizzlebrand. The Emrakul in hand does complicate things a bit. Opponent. All right, finds a creature to cycle. They could just get back Curator of Mysteries, but I don't know if that's worth it, really. Opponent passes. Well, let's start scrying, looking for Urborgs. Do we want to Thoughtseize? It's probably worth it, isn't it? Yeah, let's keep the Thoughtseize. This might force our opponent to just get back the Curator of Mysteries, which is not nearly as exciting. Like, we might be able to beat a single Curator of Mysteries. Thoughtseize you. Ugh, cycles, okay. I'll take the Violent Outburst. So opponent's got nothing at the moment. Play the swamp, pass the turn. I mean, we get to draw with Maze Mind's Tome. Although, Ottawa actually can answer Emrakul, can it? Opponent plays a land and is passing. Well, we will draw a card. Another Thoughtseize. Untap. Yeah, let's scry. Liliana. Do we want Liliana? It does let us discard the Emrakul. Yeah, I think we gotta keep it, because we need to get the Ottawa out of our opponent's hand, and Liliana might be able to help us do that. Hopefully our opponent didn't just draw into a Cascade spell. That would be scary. Thoughtseize you. Take the Living End. Cabal Coffers. Liliana. Tick it up. Let's just discard the Fatal Push for now. Opponent's probably going to hold on to the Ottawa. Yeah, discard the breeding pool. Okay, this is kind of working. The graveyard hate is keeping us in this. Opponent going to bounce Liliana. Okay, that is fine though. That is fine. That means the answer to Emrakul's gone, which means we're really close to annihilating for lethal here. Opponent's down to 14 too from their mana base. Cycles and passing. Well, we're gonna upkeep Scry. So we have 1, 2. How much mana do we have? 3, 4, 5. Not enough. Okay, so Scry. Gain some life. Looking for a swamp or an Urborg. Coffers doesn't do it, right? 1, 2, so 3. Down to 1 up to 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think we go bottom. Fatal push. Well, Liliana. Take it up. Discard the fatal push. The bad part about this is we're giving our opponent a ton of time to draw a Cascade spell, and if they do, they're gonna win. Passing. Mana for Final Parting, please. All right, Swamp. Coffers, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so take up Liliana. Discard the Emrakul. This should do it. Opponent discards a Grief. Everything shuffles in. But now it's Final Parting time, and we actually have the mana. 4, 5, 6, 7. Final Parting. Emrakul Graveyard, Goryo's Vengeance hand, and that's a combo, and that should be the game. Goryo's Vengeance hand, Emrakul Graveyard, trigger on the stack, get the Flying Spaghetti Monster back, and now our opponent has no lands and is dead. Got him! Well, that worked somehow. We fought through that relic, ended up being so big. That just bought us enough time. An opponent, yeah, dead. And yeah, well, that is the power of relic for sure. All right, Voidwalker's in, relic in, damnation in, fatal push out. Fatal push out. We can trim like a Maze Mind's Tome, I think. Maybe like 1 Inquisition, 1 Liliana. Voidwalker seems really good against this deck. I mean, basically we want Graveyard Hate and discard. Yeah, that sounds fine. Very much like our last hand. All right. We like it. Opponent going to 5. We also like that. Going to 4. We really like that. And dead. I mean, with this hand, how do we... Well, you never know with Living End. If they can grief us and take the relic. Otherwise, I mean, double discard into relic is going to really slow our opponent down. Botanical Sanctum passes. We just want mana mostly. Land and Thought Sees You. Take Waker of Waves. Opponent can't reanimate next turn anyway. No Simian Spirit Guide anymore. Land passes. All right, well, Castle Locklane, relic, start eating away the graveyard. Oh, opponent scoops it up. Oh, okay. Well, we got a little lucky with our opponent mulliganing a lot there, but we finished with the 3-2. We got there. We did finally part our way to victory, and that means we get treasure chests. Let's crack it open. Wow, this was really interesting. The first games of this league did not go how I expected. Those were the grindiest. I think it took us 2 hours to play our first 3 matches, like some of the longest matches we've ever played. And I was thinking this deck would get more quick free wins, but that just really didn't happen. On the other hand, those last 2 games went a little bit more as expected. All right, let's crack our treasure chest. Interesting. We showed that the deck could grind and win quickly. Treasure chest, dig up. Dig up disappoints me. That was a card I was really high on and thought was going to be really good, and it ended up doing nothing. But it is a sweet card, and Void Slime is also a sweet card. It's not worth anything though. All right, well, I'll be back in the wrap up in just a minute to talk about Final Parting Combo. Sweet. So what do we learn this week about Final Parting Combo in Modern? And wow, that was a grind of a league. We ended up going 3-2 in our league. We played some of the longest, grindiest matches that we've played in a really long time, which was kind of surprising. I thought this deck might get a lot of like quick, fast wins where you just Final Parting Emrakul, got him. But that didn't happen all that often. It did happen once in a while, but I guess it makes sense when you think about it. We need Cabal Coffers. We really need Urborg to make Cabal Coffers all that good in the early game. Then we need Final Parting. So it does take a lot of pieces to actually actually pull off the combo. The good news is the deck showed it had the ability to kind of play the long game, and that's one of the upsides of being a mono black deck. You get Inquisitions and Thought Seizes and Damnations and March of Wretched Sorrow. There's so many good ways to just kill your opponent's stuff, slow down your opponent's game plan, that it ended up not really mattering a lot of the time that the games went long. We were kind of fine with playing the long game. I will say, I think we also just maybe ran a little awkwardly. Our solution to having to find coffers and Urborg and final parting is Profane Tutor, but we just really didn't draw a ton of Profane Tutors in the early game in any of our matches, really. The one time we did draw a bunch of Profane Tutors, we ran up against Teferi, and Teferi just shuts it down pretty hard. So Profane Tutor just didn't show up as much as I was hoping. That's the card that should be able to really make the combo more consistent. The other thing to mention about the combo is we had a game where it didn't actually win, and that's something that's important to keep in mind. Most of the time, a hasty Emrakul for 2 mana with Goryo's Vengeance, that just wins the game. It either literally wins because the opponent's life total hits 0, or it annihilates their board and they scoop or they can't get back into the game. Griselbrand, a really nice backup option. We saw some sweet Griselbrand turns. Shout out to Griselbrand March of Wretched Sorrow, which was surprisingly good. You can reanimate Griselbrand, draw 14 cards, pitch a bunch of black cards to March to gain back the life, to draw more cards and set up for the Emrakul kill the next turn. So that was really effective. But we did have a game where, because Goryo's Vengeance exiles, we had Emrakul, we had annihilated, but our opponent had a lot of permanents, so it didn't actually win the game. They went to 5 and sacked a bunch of stuff, but they were still able to function, and then they played a flyer. So we were set up to Griselbrand, but we couldn't actually do it. If we had reanimated Griselbrand and our opponent just blocked it, there's no other way in this deck to deal damage. If you look through our entire main deck, it's an Emrakul, it's a Griselbrand, and then it's a bunch of removal and Planeswalkers and Tutors and so forth. So if we had used both of our reanimation targets and didn't win, we wouldn't have a way to win the game. So that's something to keep in mind. If that happens, I think what you gotta do is go on the hardcast plan, and we can hardcast stuff. Eventually Cabal Coffers and Urborg is gonna give us enough mana that we can easily cast Griselbrand and even hardcast an Emrakul. So if you find yourself in that position, that is the thing to do. Although I will say, maybe one more Griselbrand in the deck could be worthwhile, because it was a little bit weird that we could Goryo's Vengeance twice, 2 of the most powerful reanimation targets in all of Magic, and not end up winning the game. So if you like grindy long games and the possibility of getting fast wins with the final parting combo, seems like a relatively good option for Modern. The deck was fun to play. The games were really interesting. They were fun. You're kind of working to set up the combo, but also playing a mono black control style game plan. So the deck's definitely sweet. If you're looking for something different to try in Modern, I would definitely recommend it. So anyway, that's Final Parting Combo. That's our Much Abrew for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.